Hey guys, so Battlefield 4 launch, what can we say about it? Well, we can say plenty, but first let's talk about the footage in the background. I play a lot of Battlefield with some friends from a community called TheFallenUnit, TheFallenUnit.co.uk for those of you who are interested, and last night we played in a casual 15 versus 15 against another community called OCUK. We played on Operation Locker, Flood Zone, and then Dawnbreaker on Conquest Small. It was really good fun, and this was one of the better games, so I decided to share it with you. I've left out the comms because there was 15 people in the channel, and it was a nightmare, so you're not going to be able to make out too much. Now, if you're a PC gamer and you want some cool people to play Battlefield with, and you're up for a laugh, then head over to their website. I'll put the link in the description, because there is always someone playing, and as we know, playing Battlefield with friends is how it's meant to be played. So whilst you enjoy the footage in the background, I'm going to have a bit of a moan. Now let me start by saying, I like Battlefield 4. I intend to play it a considerable amount, and I've already played it a decent amount since its release. I also plan to play in a competitive esports team in various tournaments and LANs, so Battlefield is something I wanted to be good and expected to be good. Now it's in its early days yet. In the UK the game has only officially been out for 1 day, and about 5 days in the US. I like a lot of things about Battlefield 4 right now. The gunplay is good, excluding the netcode, which I'll go into in a minute. The map design for the most part is really good, and visually it's fantastic. Right now though, it needs some significant changes if this game is going to survive in an esports environment, and even a casual environment for that matter. The netcode right now has some major issues. If you remember Battlefield 3's netcode, and I'm sure you do, it was not the best. It had some real issues with people getting shot behind cover, and supposedly we were told before Battlefield 4's release the netcode for Battlefield 4 had been improved quite a lot. Well, if by improved they mean made far worse, then yes, they got it. Bang on, job done. Now getting shot around cover is no longer a rare occurrence that would just annoy you once or twice. It's now expected, and it's even surprising if you don't get shot behind cover. That's how bad it is. In terms of an esports, that can't remain. It can't even remain in a casual game because people will get frustrated. People are already getting frustrated. It's not just this occurrence though. There is also a problem right now that I'm sure a number of you have encountered but weren't quite sure what it was, and that is getting this feeling that you are getting almost these insta-deaths. Now this is linked into the netcode delay because right now sometimes you will start shooting at someone, then all of a sudden you will just instantly die, and it's like they only hit you with one bullet but you're dead. Or you will get killed before you've even seen someone, or you will see someone and they're kind of still in a running animation, then all of a sudden you just instantly die. And you're just like, WTF. All these issues are clearly tied all together with the netcode, but I'm really hoping it's something that gets fixed. Now we all played the beta, and whilst I maybe got shot around cover a couple of times on the odd occasion during the beta, I wouldn't say it was any worse than Battlefield 3. The game for the most part felt pretty smooth. It was certainly nowhere near as bad as what it is right now in the main release. This leads me to a few conclusions. Firstly, it can be a lot better. We tried it in the beta and it was nowhere near this bad. That's a promising sign first of all. It's also worth noting that Battlefield 4 uses a combination of client-side and server-side hit registration. So I'm kind of under the assumption that the servers maybe are currently the problem. Maybe they're getting overloaded, or even the servers aren't quite optimized correctly for the amount of people, so they aren't calculating their server side of the hit reg properly, on time maybe, which is causing the issues. The fact that it worked fine in the beta would suggest to me that it is something that can be fixed. There's just obviously some tweaks that need to be done, and the servers need to be a bit more optimized. So I'm confident it will improve. Fingers crossed. A few people that had the chance to play Battlefield 4 on LAN in various forms report that they were not aware of any of these issues when they played, and they didn't encounter any of these issues. So clearly that's not something that's in the game code itself, but rather in the online netcode relating to server connections. Now although they were playing on LAN, they were still connecting to a server, albeit locally. So hopefully, with a few server tweaks, this will improve. and after a couple of updates, they'll manage to tweak a few settings server-side, and it will get better. However, what on earth are we going to do if it doesn't get any better? They made a point to say they'd made massive improvements to the netcode. So if they've made those improvements, how is it that it's so bad on launch? I don't know. Okay, so the netcode is problematic right now, but as I say, I think that will get fixed very, very soon. There are a few other things, though, that need fixing. Now, crashing aside, I know is a huge problem right now. A lot of people are having issues with crashing, but that will get fixed. With updates and graphics drivers, that will get better. I know that will get better. One of the other problems I've encountered, though, is the insane black screen delay when spawning into the game on a flag or on a teammate. I'm sure you know what I mean. It was present in Battlefield 3, but for the most part, it would be relatively unnoticeable. The odd occasion, there would be a long black screen which would really annoy you, but they said it was used for streaming in assets, so they couldn't get rid of it entirely, but they could reduce it. When it comes to Battlefield 4 though, they've made it even worse. Sometimes it feels like the black screen when you spawn in, the delay feels like it's almost 2 seconds long, which means by the time you actually see something on your screen, your spawn protection is gone and you're already dead. That's just something that can't stay in the game. That's poorly executed. If you need to have that 7 second, 6 second, whatever it is. I know it's not 7 seconds, that's it's an exaggeration. However, if you need to have it 2 seconds long, then something is going wrong. Something really is going wrong. That needs to be shortened down quite considerably. Having said all these things, I do enjoy the game. I know a lot of people have been giving it a lot of hate, but I don't know if anyone remembers when Battlefield 3 came out. The release of Battlefield 3 was very poor. It was ridiculously buggy. But after some time, we grew to love that game, and I love Battlefield 3. And right now, I know a lot of people are really missing it. But Battlefield 4 will get better. There's been quite a few teething problems, I know, but I am confident the netcode and the other things will improve. And I believe when they improve, everyone will start enjoying the game a lot more. For me, the crashing, the netcode, and the spawn delay are the three main things that need addressing first. I'm sure there's lots of other problems, and don't get me wrong, I've encountered plenty of bugs and other issues, and I know there'll be people that want other things fixed before these things that I've mentioned, but in my opinion, they should be the priority. Whether they will be or not, that remains to be seen, but it's important that this netcode gets dealt with as soon as possible. Lastly guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I wanted to mention something about Nvidia Shadowplay. This video that you're watching was recorded with Nvidia Shadowplay. Now, essentially what that is, it's a program that Nvidia have made called the GeForce Experience. And part of this experience now is something called Shadowplay, which is a recording utility that instead of using CPU and GPU essentially in Windows, it actually encodes video using your onboard chip on your Nvidia graphics card. If you've got a 600 or 700 series graphics card, you can utilize this. And essentially it will record at 1080p, 60 FPS, without giving you any performance hit. And it will create a much smaller file than DxTory or Fraps, and you're not going to get the downside of having a massive performance hit. The quality probably isn't quite as good as DxTory. However, when you add a few tweaks to it and then upload it to YouTube, the quality difference is negligible, in my opinion. But I want to get some thoughts from you guys. What do you think of the quality of this particular video? It was recorded using Shadowplay, so I want to see if you guys can notice the difference from some of my other videos. Do you think it's better? Do you think it's worse? Etc. Plenty more stuff coming from Battlefield 4. I've got a couple of videos lined up that are a little bit different. I'm hopefully going to get another documentary out. The documentary was written and planned. Unfortunately, I had some hard drive issues and my entire recording hard drive was wiped. So that kind of took a back step in direction really, but I'm hopefully going to get that done this week sometime. It's a documentary this time is about the beta. It's a bit of a comedy about the beta and how that went. So look out for that in the coming week. And hopefully guys, you're just enjoying the Battlefield 4 content. Hopefully you're enjoying the game. and I hope it gets better. As always, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.